What is up, everybody? We are now going into week 5, and we are going to go over the waiver wire pickups for this week. Do me a quick favor there. Smash that like, smash that subscribe if you're new, but let's get right to it. The Arizona Cardinals have not been as bad as we thought they were going to be. And one of my first guys on the list for this week is going to be Michael Wilson, 7 for 76 on 7 targets, 2 tutties. They're a team that is throwing the ball a lot. Marquise Brown is still going to be the guy there. But Michael Wilson, rookie, I mean, coming out after the draft, Michael Wilson was a guy that I particularly like his skill set, but staying healthy has been the major issue in college. But he's been able to stay healthy so far in the NFL, and he's looked decently well, especially that last game. So if he can keep that up and be that number 2, next to Marquise Brown, hopefully we get Kyler Murray back one of these weeks. I know they said that he's not ready to come back yet. They are not going to rush him back. So it might be a few weeks till we see Kyler Murray, if we even see Kyler Murray. But Michael Wilson, definitely a guy that you want to pick up on a team that is usually going to be down in games and going to have to throw the football. So pick up Michael Wilson this week off of waivers for week 5. Next guy up is going to be another wide receiver. It's going to be Jameson Williams. Apparently now they've changed the rule. He is able to come back. So if you were unable to scoop him up before that or not been able to add him, now is the week that you want to try and add him. He is going to be more of a boom bust type player. He complements St. Brown. St. Brown more underneath and intermediate, where you're going to see JAMO more on the intermediate and deep routes. But one of the things to worry about with Jameson Williams is he going to get enough volume? Is he just going to be this boom or bust type player on the deep ball, or is he actually going to be really much involved? We've got Amon-Ra St. Brown for that underneath. You've got Gibbs in the backfield. So I see JAMO as more of a deep threat kind of guy. He's going to be a boomer bust type player. That's going to be my opinion on JAMO. He's going to win you some weeks. He's also going to lose you some weeks. So just have that in mind. But JAMO, definitely an ad coming into week 5 here. In a good offense, first place in the division. Stash Jameson Williams for now until we can feel like it's safe to play him. Our next running back is going to be from the Carolina Panthers, CHUBA Hubbard. Apparently only rostered in 32% of leagues, so he is still out there in a lot of leagues. Miles Sanders had an injury coming into this game, was questionable to go. They said they were going to play him. They weren't going to have limitations, but it looked like they did have a little bit of limitation for him as he played only on 43% of the snaps. But he did get 13 carries for only 19 yards. But CHUBA Hubbard had 14 carries for 41 yards. I mean, not so great either. But he's a guy that is going to be kind of involved in the offense, especially if Sanders re-aggravates this injury, or if this injury gets worse, Chuba is going to be the guy that does come in. So just a guy to kind of stash there. I'm not comfortable playing him at all, but just keep an eye on the Miles Sanders situation. Next running back up, we've got JALEEL McLaughlin, the rookie. Over 100 yards in total offense this game. Javonte Williams did go down with an apparent hip injury. We don't know how long Javonte is going to be out, if he's going to be out at all. But it looked like they tried to get the ball to JALEEL McLaughlin, especially after Javonte going down. So McLaughlin could see some more playing time as the season goes on. I mean, 7 for 72 on the ground, 3 for 32 through the air, and had the tutty with that. A smaller back, only 5'7", 187. But he could get an increased role going forward, especially if Javonte has to miss any time. But we don't know if Javonte is going to miss time at this point. Let's get into some tight ends. My guy, Cole Kmet, 9 targets, 7 catches for 85 yards and 2 tutties. I've kind of been talking up kind of all season. Like, if you don't have one of the top guys, it's okay. Just pick up Cole Kmet, just play him every week and just see what happens. He should finish as a top 10 tight end. Last year, finishing as tight end 7 with 7 touchdowns. He's got 2 touchdowns already on the season so far through the 4 games. But so far, pretty identical to last year as far as yards per catch, 10.5 to 10.88 last year. The exact yards per target, 7.88 compared to last year, 7.88. So if you do need a tight end to play, Cole Kmet should be a decent tight end that you can play week in and week out. He may have a boom week here or there, but he should give you some kind of consistent production. I mean, first game, 5 catches on 7 targets. Second game, 4 catches on 6 targets. Not a great third game against KC, but then came to life and had this big game against Denver. It is against Denver, so take it with a grain of salt if you wish. Currently tight end 3 in PPR scoring after this past week. He's also 8th in targets, 5th in receptions. So very sneakily, Cole Kmet, who's averaging 12.3 fantasy points per game right now. Tight end 6 in fantasy points per game. Go out and grab him. So if you are in need of a tight end, go grab Cole Kmet, or even just a tear down. Maybe you have an Evan Ingram, a Hunter Henry. Maybe you can trade one of those guys and just play Cole Kmet. Next waiver wire pickup is going to be another tight end. Is going to be JONNU Smith. Big London game. He had 6 catches on 6 targets for 95 yards. Outproducing Kyle Pitts on the season. So it's probably okay to just play JONNU Smith instead of Kyle Pitts. I mean, Kyle Pitts did have the 9 targets the game before. We know the offense is horrible. We know the quarterback is horrible. We know Arthur Smith just... What are we doing? We have Drake London, we have Kyle Pitts, and we just don't use them. Doesn't make sense, right? So I wanted to look into this just a little bit deeper, and maybe I'll make a separate video on Kyle Pitts for this. But Kyle Pitts only lining up at the tight end position on the left-hand side as a tight end in 10% of snaps. On the right side at tight end on 12.9% of snaps. And this is on the whole season. So they've got basically Kyle Pitts almost in a wide receiver role. So he's technically kind of like the wide receiver 2 on this offense because he's lining up in the slot, in the left slot or the right slot. Almost 70% of the time, Kyle Pitts is lining up in the slot basically as a wide receiver. So for right now, JONNU Smith is going to be the guy to have and the guy that you can play. Kyle Pitts is technically droppable in redraft leagues. JONNU Smith is the guy that a lot of people are going to be picking up this week. So make sure you add him if you do need a tight end. I also have just 2 guys that I wanted to mention in this video. One has been on previous videos, which has been Jake Ferguson. He's been on a previous waiver wire video, so I'm not going to put him on this one. 7 catches on 7 targets last game. He's had 7 targets in 3 games this year. 3 out of the 4 games, he's had 7 targets. He hasn't cashed in on all of them, but definitely a guy that you want to have as your tight end if you don't have one of those top tight ends, or if you're in need of a tight end. Jake Ferguson is a guy that should be on your roster. The next name I wanted to mention, and we're not sure yet what's happening with T. Higgins, but Tyler Boyd could be a waiver wire pickup for this week. Again, we don't know necessarily the situation with T. Higgins. We know that it's a rib issue and he could be out a few weeks, but they've also said that he might not miss any time and he might play through this injury. So depending on the pain and the soreness, we'll see how much he can take. He might actually play in this game. He'll probably have limited snaps. So Tyler Boyd could still be a good play against an Arizona defense here in week 5. So just a situation to monitor closely and then kind of see what happens going into the week. That'll wrap it up for the waiver wire video, guys, for week 5. Let me know down in the comments, what do you think about some of these waiver wire pickups? Who are you picking up? Are there any guys maybe that I missed? Drop a comment below. Appreciate all y'all for tuning in. Do me a quick favor there before y'all get out of here. Just smash that like for me. Smash that subscribe if you're new and you enjoyed this video. But other than that, I'll see y'all on the live streams. We are usually live streaming 10 Eastern on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturday nights, as well as early Sunday morning for those games on Sunday. If you got nothing to do, come by, hang out during the week when we're on, ask some questions, engage with the chat. We do have a nice little community that we are building. But until next time, see you.